Good afternoon. These thoughts are of my own opinion, in my opinion. And if you should agree with or not agree with it, is not here to hurt anybody. It's just shed the light on situations and how we should be more aware of our surroundings. This generation, I thought my generation was a part of the generation, you know what I'm saying, back in the 70s, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I was born in the 50s, but you get up, everything progresses, barcades. But what I'm talking about now is drinking and driving, drinking and driving. It's an all-out assault on young black men and black women too, but especially young black men. And that's the only thing that you need to know is that if you're going to go out, you better go out in enough time where you can be back in. Because even though we don't have, so to speak, sundown laws or sundown towns by sign, sometimes we should know that you don't need a sign to see that these places ain't for you. The more you stay out, the later you stay out, things happen. Bad things happen. After midnight, stroke of midnight, a lot of bad things happen. Because you be out certain places, be drinking, maybe about 15, 20 minutes away from home. But you got to get on the interstate. And when you get on the interstate, you're going to speed. Because they make it 70, 75. But they know drunk people go more than that. They go faster than that. They have such a, what do you call it, a lead foot. But beware, this is intentional, to get you drunk. But see, it's nobody's fault but your own when you really come to think about it. Because why should you drink and drink and drink and drink and then get in your vehicle and think that you're stabilized? It's further from the fact. It's further from the truth. People need to stay out of their vehicles when they call themselves partying. You call an Uber or whatever, you ride with somebody that don't drink or a substitute driver. But we need to check ourselves because you're making yourself vulnerable. Your job is at stake. Your job really is at stake. Because once they pull you over and they take you in, you're going to be in trouble, my friend. You have a beer, you have some tequila, you have a shot of this, you have a shot of that. Food ain't going to help it because they're still going to check your blood level. Some people just don't want to listen. But, I've seen it before. A lot of good people go down the drain. A lot of good people go down the drain because of that. People need to check themselves. They need to understand what's at stake when they get behind the wheel. It's bad, People don't have any kind of compassion for others. So what they would say, I can do it. I've seen it all the time. I can do it. I don't need you to help me. I can drive myself. And other people there trying to help you, but you won't do it because you're such an asshole. You have to be an asshole to want to get drunk and drive, knowing that you're going to party, knowing that you're going to be around friends, knowing that you're going to the bars, knowing that you're going to go to the clubs. See, one day you might meet an undercover officer at these clubs that's just watching you drink. And while you're thinking they're drinking, yeah, they're drinking all right. They're having a Sprite, checking out who is drunk. And they're going to call it in. Who y'all going to call? Who y'all going to call? See, people take it upon themselves to just make their own decisions about somebody else's life. It might be somebody's daughter, son, sister, aunt, grandmother, or wife. It might be the father, the son, the cousin, the uncle, the nephew. It's bad. My daddy used to drink and drive back in the day. And only somebody he almost killed was himself. Driving, doing stupid things. You know, people need to check it. Because someday it's going to come back on you. You don't need to drive while you're drunk. Think about the person that's your life or your ruin, or think about the people that you're going to be leaving behind while you're behind bars, and then it's a tragedy. You know, back in the day, it used to be where they used to feed my American Indian brothers and sisters liquor to put them off course so they couldn't think rationally. And then they gave them guns while they were drinking. And the only thing they did was shot all the bullets out, all the ammunition, and then got attacked with what they had left. We're doing the same thing with our society. Only time you want to celebrate something is the 4th of July, but it had nothing to do with us. You know, we don't celebrate Juneteenth like people do, say for instance in San Antonio or Houston or Corpus Christi, places like that I've been, who really appreciate it more than other holidays, because it's about survival. It's about being free. A lot of people don't appreciate being free. They take it for granted. That's why people get shot up. That's why people get hit by stray bullets. Excuse me. And God, I don't wish that on anyone. Myself included, I don't wish that on anyone. Because you ruin people's lives. Shooting at each other. We're shooting at each other all the time. Why are we shooting at each other? Please tell me that. We're shooting at each other because of colors. We're shooting at each other because of fake property that we own, called the streets. Fake property that we own called the corner. We don't own that. Why should you kill your brother? Why should you maim your brother? Why should you put your brother in the grave? You got all kinds of things now that you can do. A real man proves his worthiness by his fist. So each one can get up and live another day. Now, I had to fight for a long time my young brothers and sisters. I had to fight for a long time. You know, I came up in the Jim Crow era. You know, when my parents were allowed to vote, I had to, and my sister and my brother, we had to hide on the floor in the back of the car, on the floor, covered up, because I was scared that that place was going to be bombed. And the reason I'm bringing that up because people had to go through so much in order to get where we are. And it seems like we're going backwards because we just can't get along with each other. You know, it's about shoes, about you owe me 50 cents. You know, you stepped on my foot. You know, you said something wrong to me. You flashed your light at me. You know, I'm just initiating, so I'm gonna take care of you. You know, all these kind of crazy things. And I seen it decline. I seen it decline most recently. You know, that was a good idea when we had to, when we bought our guns. That you know, we had to check them in with Sheriff's Department. You know, Sheriff Mark Petaway took care of all that. See, so he can, how you say, keep account of what was going in and going out. You know, you couldn't keep account of everything, but he was keeping account. But now it was stopped as far as like licenses. It was stopped. People saying, hey, you don't need no license. You can just have a gun. You don't need no permit. You can just have a gun. Just buy one and just carry it around with you. And see, all this stuff started, well, killing each other up with the effects of everything else in your system. And it's bad. One person trying to fix it, so where accountability would be shown, transparency. But then on the other side, you got people who want you to have guns. So when they pull your dumb ass over while you're driving dirty and driving drunk and driving inebriated and driving intoxicated. Come on now. You can't fall in that same situation. Stop killing your brother. Stop slapping your mother around. Stop disrespecting people. When you want respect, you get respect. But then if you don't respect, how do you expect people to respect? God has to have a intervention with a whole lot of folks that are doing wrong, that are passing the word on that it's okay to do what you're doing. If you tell the truth, you're dirty, you're low down. And if you tell a lie, all I got to do is cry and make everything go bye-bye. We got to stop this stuff. We got to start taking care of our children better. You can't get along with the mama, don't disregard the child. Now, if she don't want you to see the child, if she acting crazy, that's a whole nother subject right there in itself. It's a whole different subject. If a man is held hostage or held up to the wall and saying if you don't do this and you don't do that, you won't get to see your child. It has nothing to do with finances. This has to do with control. Even though they don't want you, they don't want nobody else to have you. And they turn the children against you. And then, like, after that, the grandchildren get turned against you. A whole generation of hate. And see, that's what black folks are going through, hate. You know, we're going through, you know, no matter how people might see this, a lot of us are going through PTSD. You know, you don't have to be in the military to have PTSD, because black people, we've been having PTSD for a long time. And you know this, okay? I was chased by the Klan. I was threatened by the Klan. I was run out of town by the Klan back in the day. I had to fight. I had to physically fight for my life. That's why I had to run, because we ain't gonna even get into that, but I had to leave for a while. And when I came back, it was a thing where I had to leave again. I volunteered for the military when I was 16 years old. Excuse me. Yeah, when I was 16, I volunteered for the Vietnam draft. You know, before they drafted me, I went on and volunteered. And after I graduated at 16, went to college up there at Jeff State for a while. You know, took up music, took up art, you know, and took up law. And a year later, I was called because I had made a commitment to the military. And even though I knew there was going to be a whole lot of dealings with, what I learned was far much better, even though you put in a situation where you might find people that don't like you. Okay? You find people that hate you. But then you find people that just like you. I'm not even talking about the color either. Because everybody don't hate each other. Everything is being promoted over and over and over again. From when I was a young man, it's been promoted over and over again. When my father was born, back in the 30s, it was promoted over and over again. My father at 15 went to Korean War. He volunteered. What he did, he ran away from his mother, because his mother had gone through traumatic experiences, being that she was black and Blackfoot. She was left with a couple of children, a couple of boys, excuse me, and there's a thing where she pitted one another, pitted them against one another. She beat them so bad. He went and joined the Korean War at 15. He forged her name to get in, and never had a childhood, but he wanted to protect his country, even though he was straight up shot when he got out. No, he pretended like he was okay. But see, it's the same thing, being in a community where all you hear is shots running out, shots all over the place, shooting at each other. I mean, for what? For what? You got weed, you got weed, you got this, you got that. Why you gotta kill each other? Why you gotta kill each other? It'll make no sense. People looking for us to kill each other. People looking for us to turn against each other, and you see it now. We got some people now saying, yeah, we need to bring into the, defective guard, because these YNs, that's what they call y'all now, YNs. They say like y'all, need to be straightened out. So someone say, need to get military intervention. And see what they're trying to do is get you to pull your guns out. And don't you do that. Don't you do that. If you're talking about a civil war, they're trying to make it effective now because they're trying to make you do things, trying to, how you say, bait you, or goad you into doing something that you know is going to end up tragic. You need to follow a lot of Martin Luther King's dreams. Malcolm X was a good brother. He made a lot of sense on a whole lot of things, even though people are not affiliated. A lot of people are not affiliated with that organization, their religion. It still says the same thing when it comes to, who created you. God created you. You might see it in a different way, in a different tone, in a different voice, but God created you. People just can't get over themselves. You got to fester hate over and over and over and over and over again. See, that's why it's so important to live the dream of a dreamer. You just can't go around. See, once we kill each other, you don't give everybody permission to kill you too. This should not be happening. I joined the military to protect my country. You can never talk about a president. You can never talk about a president while you're in office. A soldier, the soldier kept his place and everything. I mean, you knew where you stood in the military. I've met Caspar Weinberg. I've met queens. I've seen dukes and duchesses. I mean, why you got to leave your life trying to kill somebody? Somebody sometimes you don't even know. You're always talking about the police doing you wrong. We're doing each other wrong too. Doing the same thing. You had them folks back in the day where, what was that? Black Ben, the blacksmith or whatever, they always can tell on somebody, Black Sam, they're always going to tell on you when you try to do something, even if you're sitting up there talking about horseshoes. You're going to have about 2 or 3 other folks sitting around you trying to listen to see whether or not you're saying something abrasive so they can go back and tell. That song, We Shall Overcome, we're still trying to overcome. You say, we shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. 'Cause the truth gonna set you free. They got hangings in Mississippi right now. As I understand, over there in Delta University, Delta in Mississippi, found one student hanging. Said he hung himself even though he had, a couple broke legs and an arm. Guess he pulled himself on up, Hey, I said I was going to hang myself, so I'm going to just wrap this rope with this good hand around and this good arm around the limb and just, hey, I already got the noose on my neck. So, even though I got 2 broke legs and an arm, I'm going to go ahead and hang myself. And then we find another young man dead. Dead. Hanging from a tree. Just like some of my ancestors got hung from a tree. Back in Columbus, Mississippi. See, it's a lot of things people don't understand. You have to know your history. You just ain't here just to party. You just ain't here to have a good time. God put you here for a reason. He didn't put you here for you can kill each other. He put you here for a reason. Because you got to go back and you got to look at the existence where you come from. Even though you say, well, I was born in Philadelphia. I was born in Mississippi. I was born in Ohio. Well, you know what? You might have been born there. But if you look at that generations of people, all those spirits are in you from way back when you were brought over to the United States. So we got to stop all this. It don't matter. It matters. It matters a lot. It matters when you take your ass out there and vote instead of going up there and spending $300, $400, $500, $1,000 on everything that you need in order to go to a freaking concert and everything. But when it comes to voting, you ain't doing shit. And that's what gets on my nerves. Everything that I've gone through, all the things that all our ancestors gone through, and we won't even vote. The ones that can vote won't vote because all this shit about, especially black men saying it don't matter. Yes, hell, it does matter. Because if it wasn't for the folks that voted, we'd be in a more critical situation right now. It matters. We got to keep it continuing to matter. We got these sisters. They're standing up. They're standing up more than our brothers are standing up. Now, we do have brothers that do stand up and will say things that they need to say to defend themselves. But more sisters, I acknowledge them for standing up for our rights. See, sisters be standing up for our rights, but then we beat the hell out of knowledge. You know, they ain't supposed to know nothing. They ain't supposed to do nothing. They're supposed to sit at home and have babies. If that was the case, we wouldn't be voting right now. Black women, they enabled the white women to vote first. And after, 7,500 years, we got a chance to do it too. Shirley Chisholm, all up, hey, y'all need to read your history, but that's why they're trying to take your history from you. Because you don't want to learn anyway. They figure you are out of school. You don't want to play by the rules and you want to be a fool. So guess what? They take things away from you. They're taking food away from you, food vouchers. They're taking everything away, taking WIC away. They're doing all this stuff. Because, when someone gets hungry, they're going to come out of where they are in order to find food and water. And that's where they got you, because, they got us so dependent that we can't depend on ourselves and trust our surroundings to do better, to incorporate with others. As long as you feel that you want to hate somebody, that means that other people don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about you. They don't have to worry about whether they're going to come at you, whether you're going to get woke and see that you broke. You woke and see that you broke. You can't be that scholar with a dollar when every time you wake up, you broke. So you have to enrich yourself before you become rich. So you can get rich for a day and money gone in about a week. Or you can enrich yourself with the knowledge of a book. You can even read Ulysses, Greek mythology, Homer. Don't y'all know he was a black man? That's why they're trying to take everything away from you. They don't want you to have that knowledge of what it really is to be a king, a queen, a prince, rich, famous, having wealth, generational wealth, like the kings did in Africa, with their gold, with all their enrichments of mineral. Don't have none of that here. I ain't seen a black man yet go out there and pan for gold. Or go out there in Arkansas and dig up there and try to find a diamond in the dirt. Because we have other things on our mind. See, this war, this crazy war that people are trying to perpetrate, people might have guns, okay? Minority might have guns. And that's for our own preservation and protection of our homes. But we don't own millions and millions and millions of dollars for all kind of guns and explosives and tactical gear and, things that you can see in the nighttime and laser vision and is spending $500 and $600 for one weapon. We don't have that. We're too busy trying to pay bills. Don't you know that? We're too busy trying to pay bills and trying to keep abreast and trying to love our children, trying to love our grandchildren. While other people looking at us like we're sore thumbs and we're just nasty, a scab. This is being taught. It's something that has been taught for a long time. These same thoughts, not the individuals, but the thoughts that make an individual the way that they do in order to thinking that people are inferior. I've talked about a lot of subjects, and I'd like to talk about a whole lot more, but we do more as we go. People, we got to learn to love each other. Got to listen to Curtis Mayfield, Future Shock. You better listen to Curtis Mayfield, New World Order. It's taking place and you don't even know it. Thinking because you've seen spaceships and everything that's flying through skies and the space, you're seeing different type formations. Some people been here way before we even got here. The Aztecs, the Incas, the people in Peru. They didn't die off. They just moved. They moved from one place to the other, one part of the Americas, so to speak, to the other part, to get away from their own enemy, to get away to go get another religion, another thought process instead of ritualistic killings of people. We need to start reading. We need to start reading. Because if you don't read, you will not succeed. If the sign says stop and you don't know what to say, you're going to run into something. If the sign says don't and you do, you'll be in trouble before you know it. That's why they got people in place right now to make sure that you grow up stupid and that your children going to grow up stupid that you're going to have, because they're not going to have books for them. They're going to have certain curriculum. They're going to have to believe in certain religion. Oh, yeah. There used to be a time when black folks, we couldn't read. And if we did know how to read, it was one of those things where it could cost you your life. That's why people when they had that log cabins or other place, they didn't have floors. They had the fireplace, but they didn't have floors. They used the sticks that were charred and everything to write on pieces of wood or write on in the dirt. And when the night riders came, when the Klan came, they would erase it, because you had to have your lights off at a certain time of night. And they catch your lights on, they know something going on. So even though you live there, they're going to check there. See, people, y'all taking too much for granted. Taking too much for granted. I stood up for my rights in a whole lot of ways. Sometimes I had to shut the hell up in a whole lot of other ways, because if you know you're surrounded, you have to do what you got to do, walk away in order to live another day. Y'all fashion designs, y'all let police know what's going on with your fashion designs. Got a new pair of drawers on, old pair of pants, belt, squeezing it. That's your thing, baby. I'm just telling you what they're looking for. They're looking for that loud. See, they're looking for you to be smoking in your car, riding around dirty. They want you to go ahead and get pulled over. And then once they smell that weed in your car, that's why folks need to stay the hell at home. A lot of times, you're going to do what you're going to do. You need to do it at home. Because people these days, they're searching for a reason to mess you up. But not all people, but a whole lot of people. And a lot of times, you mess yourself up by doing stupid things. So like I said before, don't drink and drive. Put the guns down. Don't shoot each other. Love one another. Let peace evolve. Let peace prevail. Let peace be within us. We don't have to love one another, but we sure can respect one another. Because all this other stuff, there's a whole lot of black people that mix with white people, and a lot of white people that are mixed with black people, and a lot of Mexicans that are mixed with black people, and a lot of black people that are mixed with Mexicans and Indians and everything else. We are all the people of God. So what we're going to do, get rid of all of us? God bless you. God bless the USA, the United States of America. God bless the people of America, the ones who believe in fascists and the ones who believe in democracy. I believe in democracy. So they take this shit too lightly. Ain't nothing wrong with being that's why they say social worker If you didn't have social workers, guess what happened to your parents and your loved ones in these hospitals and their other organizations? They take the word social and try to make it a bad thing. Socialize. They don't want you to socialize. Social studies. Come on. You gotta listen, people. Stop being so ignorant. Black, white. You gotta stop agreeing with people just because they say okay. Or just because they say hallelujah. When you know it ain't got nothing to do with God. You got a thing called Gog and Magog. Y'all need to check that shit out. Because it's happening now. Powers are getting together. They're trying to start a war. Trying to start a war. Don't need to be in that war. You need to start rebuilding your country. Stay out of that war. Start rebuilding your country. Vietnam veterans got no respect. Stay home, build your country. Stay home, build your country. Stay home, take care of your family. Stay home, take care of your country. Build your country. Don't rebuild, build more. I love y'all. Okay? I love my young brothers. That's my sons. I love my young sisters. That's my daughters. And that's why I'm saying this. Trying to get through to you. Trying to let you know if you don't want to do everything that I ask, you can do some of the things that I bring up to your attention before it's too late. Stop killing your babies. If you don't want a baby, stop having a baby. If you have a baby, give that baby away to somebody that deserves that child. Don't walk around beating that child in front of people. You shouldn't beat them at all. See, I know what beatings are. You know, they didn't do anything about what we went through, experiences that we went through as kids and everything, as far as getting our ass whooped. Getting our ass to it when we did wrong. And sometimes when they whoop your ass when they think you're finna do something wrong, because they didn't want you to get into that society where the penal society. No. They didn't want you to do no jail time, so they say, well, I'm gonna beat your ass for the white man do. They would just say, I'm gonna keep your ass out of trouble. I'm gonna show you how it feel. Hey. I know how it felt, because I got my butt whooped. You know, but see, the more we listen to folks saying like, oh, I don't think that you should spank your children, you know, thing. I don't think you should punish them at all. See, there's a thin line between punishment and beatings. There's a difference between punishment and whippings. When you take an extension cord and you whip them so hard that the skin welts up and comes off blisters. Markings for days, just like the slaves of our forefathers and ancestors. We got those beatings. Nobody called 911 or like call the police on them, because they didn't care. They wanted you to keep them in check. But see, they went back the wrong way. They overdid it. See, that was child abuse. Now we go up there and you tell a child, don't do this. I'm going to tell my mama, don't tell me that. Or they'll tell their mother, oh, fuck you. Fuck you, Barbara. Fuck you, Dad. Fuck you, Mom. Now, we said that that'd be our ass. But now I hear children cussing with the parents. I hear children talking the same stuff that the parents do because the parents think they're so perfect. And what you're doing is leading them up to destruction and disappointment. Because, like, y'all should take care of your children. Punish them when you're supposed to. Don't leave them in no damn hot car. Don't beat them till they're unconscious. Don't beat them till the skin come off. Don't beat them till they pee on themselves or defecate on themselves. Don't beat them till they die. Just punish them. Stop giving them so many things. Because when you get things too fast, guess what? You don't respect nothing that you have because it's all been given to you. We have to mold our young men to respect and be able to take care of business when they're supposed to, as far as like their lives, their education, you know, what they want to be in life, the jobs. You have to check yourself because people don't want you to have it because the more money you have, you know, you might be able to buy some property. You have to be careful of that, you know, because you know how that goes too. You know, it might not be yours, even though you paid for the 40 acres and you bought your own mule. Somebody still is going to want to take that too. Even though you paid for it, the government didn't give it to you, you know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You need to check yourself. I went to a school, A.J. Gaston. First I went to Catholic school, right? And like, you really didn't know how to act in Catholic school because they got these nuns, you know. And the nuns, they was, how you say, they were mean as hell. They used to beat you on the knuckles with them long rulers with that little tip on it, look like a little cone on a spaceship and shit, you know. They used to say things to you in German like Dummkopf, you know, stuff like that, make you feel like, you know, you're nobody. We got to sing the song, Deep in the Heart of Texas. Stars at night shine big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas. What the hell I need to know that about? You know? What the hell I need to know that? And then they want to teach you, oh, Elijah Jane. Clap your hands. Oh, Elijah Jane. See, I just try to teach you all this slave shit. So, Daddy got me out of there and, you know, he wanted to upgrade me. And I went to public school, which I love public school. You know, I had my own teachers, you know, teachers just like me. You know, they punish you when you're bad, they reward you when you're good. You know, they communicate with your parents, they let your parents know your parents respected the teachers and everything and didn't let you get away with nothing. I ran track. I ran track real good. I won gold and silver medals at A.J. Gaston. And then I went and transferred. I graduated and went to Winona High School, the Dragon. You know, and I was a freshman. I think Ronnie Jackson was there. I think he was a senior. He went on to play baseball, you know, and proud of him and all that. You know, that's one of those things that I say, hey, I knew that guy. And, you know, I played football, you know, I was on the Well, on freshman, I was on we call it JV or whatever, second string team. But I played good, Played like tried to play running back, and I did defensive back, and I did cornerback, and hey, I played punt returner, and then we got bad news. Had the blues. Let me tell you, turn of fortune, young black people. They bust us. They integrated us. After all them years of us going to black schools, they integrated us. Sent us to Midfield High School. The Midfield Patriots. Man, you talking about a situation where it was so much racism. They had a few cool guys, They had one guy that boxed, a guy named McCluskey. He was a good guy. He didn't play that shit. He didn't play that racist shit. And a few others. But then the majority, you had to defend yourself. They wouldn't let us play football. They wouldn't let black people play football. The only thing they let us do is play exhibition football. See how good y'all got it? They just let us play exhibition football. They ruined their career. I ran track. They didn't want us to run track. Ruined that career. They want us to play basketball. Ruined that career. The only thing I really loved there was, my history and my art and my science. But everything else is taken away. See, what I'm trying to say is y'all got opportunities that I didn't have. Y'all need to respect not me for saying it, but I need you to respect me for telling you that you have opportunities. They're right there. I had to join the military, volunteer for the military for the Vietnam War at 16, and I joined because I made that commitment when I was turned 17, and I stayed in up until the time I got hurt, almost 14 years. So hey, I ain't no punk. I know about shit. I know how to take care of yourself. In the Air Force, people think that, just because you're in the Air Force, you don't crawl on the ground, you don't do this and that, like the Army and the Marines. But dig this, though. We didn't carry guns, but we sure knew our martial arts and boxing. And we knew how to wrestle. We knew how to take somebody down. We had to. That's the thing about it. And then spending all the time in the military, try to preserve people's rights and everything. My little young brothers and sisters. So don't throw it away. Don't give it away. You got all kind of opportunity because you're smart. You're smart, you're brilliant. You're handsome and you're lovely. You're articulate. You have all kind of talents. You're wise. You're knowledgeable. Some of you are damn near geniuses. So take away the anger. No matter who calls themselves hurting you or put you in a situation, God is putting you in another situation. God putting you in a situation where you can do better. You got to want to do better. And you can't make all the money at once because the money gonna make you, because that's all you're gonna be thinking about is the money, not the opportunity. So I love you again, my brothers and sisters, my black brothers and sisters, my white brothers and sisters, my Mexican brothers, my Latino brothers and sisters, my Indian brothers and sisters. I love you. And I want y'all to do better, kids. You know, I want y'all to do better. I want you to, even if it's just one person, just, how you say, put it down, go ahead and pick your books up. Pick your education up, no matter how much they're trying to take it from you, because if they take your education from you, they're going to own you. Much love and peace. And I'll be talking to you soon. But remember what I said. You deserve the utmost. And we're all dealing with PTSD. Within the military, and people that have never been in there before. Because this journey in life that we're taking, it's going to be good. Because God says so. God is going to be taking care of all this right here. See all this stuff that's going on? God is going to take care of all this. So y'all put a smile on your face and believe in God more. Believe in Jesus more. Read about him. Read other Bibles. Okay? Read other Bibles before you get to King James. Going to enlighten you. Have a good night.